Hey guys.
How's it going?
Yep, so let's see, in this video here for the week of March 12th, we're going to get into a couple of books that aren't necessarily number ones and get into some more detail on some of these new series that look pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see, what do we want to start with? You want to start with Secret Avengers?
Yeah, sure. I'll start off with Secret Avengers. Alright, so, if you find the cover weird, don't let that put you off.
Yeah.
Caught. They're doing some great work in here. It's very reminiscent of David Aja's art in Hawkeye. That's just what it reminds me of, and I like that art a lot. The story is tons of fun, and
It's very amusing.
there's just a lot going on in this issue, and there's a lot of promising stuff that's happening. Hawkeye even shows up, and he's not even technically part of the Secret Avengers, and Coulson's in it, and
Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah, we've got MODOK, and
yeah, they're incorporating from that TV show, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Phil Coulson is his second appearance in a comic book. He was in Deadpool not too long ago, and now he's part of the Secret Avengers, so he's become like full-fledged comic book character.
Yeah, there's some fun stuff with Spider-Woman and Black Widow, and when they meet up with Hawkeye, and yeah, just some fun stuff going on there. A little bit of censorship as well.
So the Secret Avengers are essentially S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Avengers team up to do missions that neither one of them kind of want to do publicly with each other's name, and that's kind of what this is going on. That's the idea. All right, so let's get into the secret history of Jack the Ripper and Frankenstein's monster in Monsters and Madmen. Really interesting concept.
Yeah,
right? This is by, let's see, Steve Niles and Damian Worm. And Damian Worm's art is really crazy. I mean, it makes this story you keep reading very pleasing, very interesting. You're right, when it's sort of Sandman-esque. I'll give you guys sort of a preview there. So that's what kind of looks like.
I mean, there's just the idea that Frankenstein doesn't die and like goes on forever. It's super interesting. There's just tons of fun stuff, and it really ends on a cliffhanger that just makes you want to go back for the next issue. And the art is really just the icing on the cake there. There's just so much depth that I feel like they could go into the story with. This
is going to be a short series too. There's only going to be 3 books long.
Is it?
Yeah.
Cool.
So I think it's going to be very fun to collect.
Yeah. Alright, we've got the end of the Dark City arc for Batman Zero Year, which will lead into the Savage City, which is another arc during Zero Year, which I'm not too mad about because, Scott Snyder's doing great things with the origin of Batman, and, Greg Capullo's art is fantastic as usual. The reason why there was an issue 28 that was about Batman Eternal, kind of a spoiler issue, was to give him more time to work on this. So he really polished up his art in this issue, and I'm just looking forward to that next new arc coming out for it. So definitely pick it up and, get on the Scott Snyder train. I'm sure a lot of you have already, but...
Oh, he's such a good author.
I know, it's just great stuff. Everything he's done lately has been phenomenal. The Wake and... Batman, and it's just done tons of stuff. It's great.
Alright guys, let's talk about Dynamite's Magnus Robot Fighter. Very awesome, actually. And so Dynamite's been doing this thing this year, where they're kind of rebooting these older series. We've already talked about Turok. Turok already came out. Magnus is the second one of these. They're calling these the Golden Key.
Yeah.
There's going to be 2 more. Solar Man of the Atom, which is done by Barbear, who also did like East to West and a couple other things, and then Dr. Spector.
Yeah, it's basically Dynamite's dream teams that are working on these books. Greg Pak is working on Turok. And
he's doing Turok.
That's been pretty fun so far, and just Magnus just piling on top of these gold books. And I would classify these as gold books. They're tons of fun and great jumping on points, and
yeah, and you look at like you either know these characters because they were around in like the 60s, or you've never even heard of them.
Yeah.
And either way, I think you're in for a solid treat because it's really well done. This Magnus book kind of blew me out of the water here, actually.
It's just basically taking those old ideas and reinventing them in a new way with these great teams that,
Yeah.
It's just going to be tons of fun for the other two series.
What's this book about? Okay, so Magnus is in a world where there's like robots and humans. It's very advanced future, and he looks like he was living in kind of a utopia-ish, a small village where robots and humans got along no problem.
Yeah.
And is thrust into an environment like new New York City, where it's mostly robots, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Like, all these people are well, not people, I guess, because they're all robots.
Yeah.
They're just walking around, and there's, like, hover cars and stuff. But, I mean, what happens to him is his parents die, and he gets raised by this AI system. And it's interesting, and it kind of... It touches on a little bit of the backstory, but I think they're going to go a little bit deeper into it with these next couple issues. I mean, leaves on a pretty good cliffhanger to open it up next issue for some awesome, cool stuff to happen.
Yeah, he's kind of like the freak in the city being a pure human.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
neat. Just a little bit there. All right, from Boom Studios, we have a part 1 of 4, The Returning by Jason Starr and I'm assuming Andrea Muddy or Andre Muddy. Sorry if I messed that up. Could go either way.
Yeah.
But it's a fun book. This basically what happens is a lot of people are having like near-death experiences, and then like a couple months later they go crazy and kill people. Yeah. So it's really odd what's happening. Like they return from death, so it's called The Returning, and it's basically this girl. She gets into a car accident with a guy she's going to prom with, and her dad is like, super protective, and he's worried about her going to prom. It's like, oh, be careful, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she gets in a car accident, she ends up in a coma, and she ends up, according to the doctors, being dead for 5 minutes, comes back, and since all these people are going crazy from these near-death experiences, she kind of gets, people don't want her there anymore and are trying to kill her, and she comes home and, ends up having to run away for some stuff that goes on in the book. I'll leave that for you guys to find out for yourselves. But, it's tons of fun. Leaves on a good cliffhanger. Pretty much like all of these books this week. Just great fun, and it's a promising part 1 of 4. So if you're looking for a small mini-series to jump on while you're waiting for some bigger issues over the summer, this is a good one to jump on.
And so, speaking of good jump-on points and fun books, we're going to go with Marvel's Deadpool number 25.
Point now.
So Deadpool, I think tacos are number 1. Yay. So Deadpool joins the all-new Marvel Now universe with this issue, as opposed to just Marvel Now. But it's a good jumping on point. It kind of is wrapping up some stuff in the last story arc. So if you're looking for a good time to start collecting Deadpool, which I gotta say, people either kind of love or hate Deadpool. As far as the character, I think he's pretty good. I think, he's fun. He's solid.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, he's hilarious. But actually, Ryan Pawson and Greg Dugan here in this latest series, this Marvel Now run, and now the all-new Marvel Now run to Deadpool, has really been, like, laugh out loud funny. There's just some scenes.
They're making him a super likable character for everybody. They really are. Yeah. You start off with, dead presidents in the first volume, which we have, and then it goes all the way up to this, and now he's apparently getting married.
We'll see what Deadpool wedding's going to happen.
The Deadpool wedding, and nobody knows who he's going to marry yet.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of Deadpool, coming up, big Deadpool crossover I'm super pumped for. Actually, Deadpool vs. Carnage.
Yeah.
What?
Gonna be super awesome.
That's going to be crazy.
Just those two combined is just ridiculous.
I would put money on Carnage eating Deadpool at some point.
Yeah, and then
Deadpool can handle it though, of course. So.
Of course, Deadpool can handle anything because he doesn't die.
Pretty much. Let's see. Was there any other books that you wanted to mention?
No. If there's any more that you want to mention?
No. Kind of talked about Lucifer in the last video. Again, if you're a Sandman fan, such a good series. I'm so glad that they're repackaging this series here.
Yeah. Wonder Woman, again, Brian Azzarello, Cliff Chang, they're really reinventing Wonder Woman into the character that all of you have wanted. There's a pretty cool story arc with the new character that they created called the Firstborn in here. It starts off his story, and I mean, just leads into some super epic stuff with the Greek gods and goddesses. And it's tons of fun. So even if you're just a fan of Greek mythology, I think you would be a great fan of Wonder Woman here. This new run just ties it into a lot of it.
They do a really good job in this run with explaining her relationship with the other Olympians.
Yeah.
Really. Which is very fun. Yeah, and I'll just, since we got a little time, I'll just also pump again 47 Ronin. I'm so glad this is finally coming out in the book. And I'll say this is like nothing to do with that recent movie or whatever that came out. This is the actual historical graphic novelization of 47 Ronin. And the artist in it is Stan Sakai, who writes Usagi Yojimbo, which is also a great novelization of Japanese mythology and historical stories. Yeah. Really great series. It's been going on for like 20 years or something like that. So the team knows what they're doing with this. So yeah, if you're a fan of Japanese history, I would highly recommend 47 Ronin. I would also highly recommend Usagi Yojimbo. Yep. But I don't think I have. Actually, I got one right here. Haha!
There you go.
Usagi Yojimbo #1.
Always
like 1986.
It's like a bag of tricks over here.
Look at that. So, but yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe if you have anything you'd like to say, or if you want to keep watching these, or both.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Yeah.
Again, we're missing Dom, so send him those good vibes to make him feel a little bit better.
Yeah, he'll appreciate it.
Yes, he will.
All right, guys. Well, thank you. Have a great week. Yeah,
Thank
we'll see you
for
next
watching.
week.